Hey guys, it's Bethany, your crafty BFF, and today I'm on with a tutorial. It's been a while since I've done one, but today I made this project and posted it on Instagram. Right now, I had a feeling that I would be asked to do a tutorial because I myself was impressed with how it came out. Um, yeah, I'm pretty proud of this one. So, I'm going to show you how to make this today. I was inspired because there is a lady I'm going to be swapping with, and I asked her, "Is there a 3D project that you've always wanted to receive but never have?" And she said like an armoire type of thing, and so I looked on YouTube trying to find a tutorial for an armoire or bookcase type 3D project, and I could not find one that um, wasn't an SVG file that you put together. And because my Cricut is packed up and I don't like using my Cricut that much anyways, I'm not a big fan of getting it out and, cutting all the different pieces and putting them together and all that good stuff. I decided I was going to try to figure out the measurements to make a cute little armoire slash bookcase, and this is what I came up with. Now, if you've seen my shadow box tutorial, this may look familiar. This is a different size. The one I did before I think was like 8 by 8. This is a 6 by 6 inch shadow box. So this main portion here, there's a little divider shelf there. Then, and I just want to explain how it's broken down. And so I will show you how to make the shadow box, the divider, this top piece, and this piece here are identical. So then we'll make those pieces, and then we will make the drawer that pulls out like so. Of course, it's not gonna slide out easily because I'm recording. Of course not. It never does, right? But so I think this is a super cute little project. You can decorate the shelves, even the top shelf, and then you can fill it. The drawer is a nice size. It's almost 2 inches by 2 inches. So there are lots. It has the ability to store quite a few little goodies to send to a friend in Happy Mail. So, or you could just make this for like a little 3D display home decor piece if you wanted. Um, but yeah, either way, I think it's a cute little project, and I'm happy to share how I made it. So, as you can see, I did not map the back because why waste the pattern paper? No one's going to look at the back. I wanted to also point out that these little drawer pulls here, if you haven't seen a tutorial where I used these before, I picked these up at Hobby Lobby for 99 cents for 4 of them in the wood crafting section. So they come in 2 different styles. If you can see, this style is different from this style, but either way they come in a 4-pack for 99 cents. So we will get to that when we get to it. And then I attach it on with the little mini brads that I also pick up from Hobby Lobby, but those are in the paper crafting section, and they come in different colors like that. Okay, so like I said, when we get to that, I will go over that again, but let's go ahead and start building this bad boy. Now I do have all my pieces cut out and scored, but I'm going to go over all the measurements and scoring with you, and then we will put it together. We'll put it all together, you and I. So if you need to pause or rewind or fast forward, whatever you need to do, you go ahead and do that. Okay, the first 2 pieces that you need, of course, I recommend 110-pound cardstock for this because we like sturdy projects. You need 2 pieces of 8 inches by 4.5 inches. Okay, these are going to be our sides of our, no, oh my gosh, I already messed up, guys. It's not 8 by 4.5. It's 6 by 4.5. Let me cut this down. Look, I'm already making mistakes. Oh, Bethany. Oh, Bethany. Okay. Already making mistakes, but that's okay. Not a big deal. You need 2 pieces of 6 by 4.5. Okay? 6 by 4.5. I could start over and delete that part out, but why not show you my mistakes? By the way, I said this in my last tutorial, and I'm going to say it again. I have learned the hard way, because especially with YouTube creators who don't edit their videos like me, I try not to edit unless I absolutely have to. Make sure you watch the tutorial all the way through, even if it's at like 1.5 or 2 times the speed, so you know if the creator makes a mistake, so that you don't make the same mistake that they made, right? If that makes sense. So watch it through all the way once, and then go back and be like, and then make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that a creator makes. Now, this one was an easy fix because we were just trimming 2 inches off of this, but I digress. 2 pieces, 110-pound cardstock, 6 by 4.5. On the 4.5 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, at 2 inches, at 2.5 inches, and at 4 inches. Okay. Do that to both of your pieces that measure 6 by 4.5. Score at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, and 4 inches. Now we're going to fold and crease all of our score lines on both pieces. Okay. Now, just like in my first shadow box tutorial, we're going to fold down one of your 1/2 inch scores here. You're going to add glue to that 1/2 inch, like so, and then you're just going to fold this other 1/2 inch score right on top of that one, so that it's flat like this. And then I kind of just varnish it down, and then you can pop it up and you have a little rectangular piece of cardstock, right? So let's do that with this one. Fold down this little 1/2 inch score mark, add your glue, and then just fold this on top of this 1/2 inch score mark on the left, right on top of that 1/2 inch score mark that we added the glue to. I'm gonna press it down, spread that glue around, and then pop it up, and we have another rectangular cylinder piece that will be 6 inches long. Okay, so that's our sides of our shadow box. Then you need two more pieces of 6 by 4.5. Okay, again, 110-pound cardstock, 2 pieces of 6 by 4.5. The scoring is just a little bit different on this one. Okay, so on the 4.5 inch side, it's the same. You're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, and 4 inches. But on these pieces, what's different is that you're going to turn this to the right, like so, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch, but you're only going to score down to this second score line, if you can see this. Okay, so you're going to score through this first horizontal score line, and you're going to stop at the second horizontal score line. Okay, so do that at 1/2 inch, just down to that second score line. And then at the 5.5 inch mark, you're going to do the same thing. 5.5 inches, you're going to go through the first score mark and stop at the second score mark. Let me hold that up close so you can see that. So it should look like this. And now we're going to do the same thing to our second. Well, I guess this is technically our fourth piece of 6 by 4.5. So on the 4.5 inch side, go ahead and score at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, and 4 inches. Turn it to the right, and then you're going to score at 1/2 inch, but only down to the second score mark. Okay, and then at 5.5 inches, just down to that second score mark. So it should look like this. Let's go ahead and fold and crease these longer score marks. Don't worry about trying to fold this because it doesn't go all the way through, right? So just the ones along the 4.5 inch side. Fold and crease. Fold and crease. Nope, not that one. This one. Fold and crease. You get the idea. Now, once you have these two pieces folded and varnished, you're going to take a pair of scissors and we are going to do some cutting. We're going to cut along this score line that we did to that second score mark, and then we're going to diagonal cut it up to the third score line. Okay, I'm sorry the lighting may not be the greatest in the world. It is nighttime, but this is the only time I have to get this tutorial done. So there's that. And then we're going to do the same thing to this other side. So cut right up that score mark. Stop at that second score mark. And then at a diagonal, cut up to the third score mark. Like so. So your piece should look like this. We're going to do the same thing to this other piece that we scored that way. So cut up that score line to the second horizontal score mark, and then diagonal cut up to the third. Cut up to the second score line and diagonal up to the third. So both your pieces should look like this. I do want to apologize because I am coming down with a cold. So I may be coughing and sniffling, and I apologize. Plus, my voice is raspy. It seems like, I swear, it seems like every time I do a tutorial, either my autoimmune disorder is acting up or I'm sick with a cold. It's like every single time. Okay, let me explain what I just did. So hold your piece like this, fold this piece over. You're going to add your glue to this 1/2 inch tab. And then you're going to line this tab up with your smaller tab. Like that. Just fold it flat like we did for those first two pieces. I'm going to use my bone folder to press down, get that nice and stuck. And then when you pop it up, your rectangle will look like this. It's more like a trapezoid shape, but I think you get the idea. So it should be pointed down on the front and then square on the back, if that makes sense. I'm just trying to give you a good look at it so you know what yours should look like. Okay, so let's do the same thing to this one. Hold your piece like this, fold this shorter tab over, add your glue, and then fold this over and press down. Pop that up and your piece should look exactly like the first one, with the diagonal cuts there at the front and the square cuts at the back. Okay. Now we can put our shadow box together and you can see it start to form. So the first two pieces that are just the plain rectangles, those are going to be your sides. And then the second two pieces that have the diagonal are going to be the top and the bottom. To attach these, we're going to do this, like so. So you want to add some glue right here and add some glue right here. So there's like this little square piece here, and then there's a little triangle piece here, and I'm just adding my glue in there to both sides. And then I'm going to slide this in like so, just making sure that I get that nice and pressed down. There will be a little gap there, but that's okay. Nobody's going to look at that. That's how all the shadow boxes are made. At least all the shadow boxes I've seen. How about that? Sometimes you gotta, sometimes it's a little finicky and you gotta play with it to get it just right. But now it seems to be stuck, so I'm going to add glue to this side here on that little square and here on the front in that little triangle, so you can see. And then I'm gonna take my other rectangular piece and slide it in the same way, just on the opposite side, like that, and then hold it together while that glue gets tacky and dries. And you can see it starting to take shape. Then for your bottom piece, your diagonal pieces should be at the front and your squares should be at the back. And you kind of have to add both sides on at the same time. So go ahead and add glue to both of these little square pieces here and both of these triangular pieces here. And then slide it in there. Like I said, it can be a little finicky. But just be patient and work with it. And get your pieces all lined up well. I say as it comes apart. There we go. And you can see you've got a three-dimensional square here. I'll erase these measurements when I get a chance, but I'm not worried about them right now. The next thing you need is a piece of 6 by 6. This is going to be our backing for the shadow box. Okay, so flip your shadow box over. You're going to add your glue all the way around. And then just slap that 6 by 6 piece on the back, pressing it down on all 4 sides so you have a nice solid backing. There you have it. There is our shadow box piece. Now we're going to work on our divider. So we're going to work on this middle piece here. Okay, so you need yet another, this is the 5th piece of 6 by 4.5, but our scoring is going to be a little different on this one. Not on the 4.5 inch side, it's going to be the same. So on the 4.5 inch side, again, it's 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, and 4 inches. But this time we're going to turn it to the 6 inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 5.5 inches. However, our cutting is going to be a little different. So go ahead and fold and varnish all your score marks. And okay, on one side, we're going to lose the squares all together. We're going to make this a long tab. So we're going to cut here at a diagonal, and then we're going to cut this square off like that. We're going to do the same thing to this side. We're going to cut this at a diagonal, and then cut this square off right here. So it should look like that. We're going to make these 2 pieces little tabs. So I'm going to diagonal and then straight cut, and then diagonal and straight cut on the score line. So you have this little tab. Flip it around and do the same thing. So diagonal and then straight cut on the score line. One more time, diagonal and straight on the score line. So you have that little tab there. And then last but not least, we're going to make this a these 2 tabs as well. So I'm going to diagonal and then cut straight on the score line. And then diagonal again, like that, to make a little tab there. Flip it around and do the same thing. So straight cut on the score line, diagonal, diagonal. Okay, and so it should look like this. And all we're going to do is fold over this tab piece, add our glue, and then you guessed it, fold it over so that it lines up with this 1/2 inch score. Varnish it down. And then we're going to tuck in our tabs, fold this over, and add glue. And then the same thing for this side. Tuck in your tabs, fold one side over, and add your glue. There you go. And there you have your little shelf. Now it will fit very snugly, very snug. Oh no, maybe a little too snug. Let me fix this. I just pressed too hard. It's okay. Okay. It should fit snug inside. I don't know why it's doing that. Do I have it upside down? I'm thinking I have it upside down. Okay. Yeah, see, I had it the wrong way. It fits snug in here this way, but this way it's just a little too big. So make sure you put it in the correct way. You shouldn't have to force it in. It should slide in and just be snug. Now, I don't recommend gluing this in until you've matted the inside pieces. But like if you're going to mat with designer paper, you wanted to mat your back piece here and then all of your inside pieces here. Okay, you want to mat all of that before you glue this shelf in. Just a disclaimer. And then I kind of put mine up a little higher on this one, but you can totally put it in the middle or down lower or up higher, whatever you want to do. You could even add a second one of these shelves if you wanted, but I'm just doing the one today. So I'm going to put this one in the middle. Okay. Next we will do our little perch pieces, which is what I'm calling this top piece, and then this piece here in between the shadow box and the drawer. So for that, you need 2 pieces of 7 inches by 5.5 inches. On the 5.5 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2.5, 3, and at 5. You're going to rotate it to the right, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 7 inches. Okay, do that to the same thing to your second piece. On the 5.5 inch side, score at 1/2 inch, 2.5, 3 inches, and 5 inches. Turn it to the right and score at 1/2 inch and 7 inches on your 7.5 inch side. Fold and varnish all of your score marks on both pieces. Give me just a minute, guys. Just a second. Sorry. Don't mean to pause in the middle of a video, but I had to do something real quick. Okay. Now that we've folded and varnished both of our pieces that measure 7 by 5.5 inches, we are going to make little shelves again, just like we did with this middle shelf. Okay. So if you hold it like this, we're going to make this long piece of tab and cut these squares out completely. So diagonal and then straight on the score line. Diagonal and straight on the score line. We're making this guy a tab. Tab, straight. And then we're making this guy a tab. Okay, turn it around and we're going to make this a tab and this a tab. Ooh, sorry, I knocked the tripod. There's that. And we're going to do the same exact thing to this other piece. So we're going to make this one long tab, diagonal, straight on the score, diagonal, straight on the score. Make this guy a tab. And this one a tab. It's literally the same exact thing that we did on that smaller divider shelf thingy. Okay, so it should look like that. Let me clean up my mess here. And we are going to attach this together. So if you hold it like this, we're going to fold this tab over like so. Add our glue. So I like projects like this where they might look a little complicated, but once you break it down step by step, it's really not that complicated. So we're going to tuck our tabs in, fold one side over, add our glue, and press down. Same thing on this side, tuck our tabs in, fold one side over, add your glue, and fold it over. There's our little top piece. And then let's do the same exact thing to this one. Fold this over, add your glue, fold it over onto this 1/2 inch tab, press down to get it nice and stuck. Pop it up to a little rectangle, tuck your tabs, fold one side over, add your glue, and fold the other side. And then do this side. Tuck your tabs in, fold it over, glue, fold it over. And if you're like me and weren't patient enough, you might have to add more glue here to this side. Kind of like to use my scoreboard to kind of press it. I can press down on the sides and press down, on these sides. I have to add some more glue here. I'm just not being very patient tonight. Okay. And there is our little bottom piece. So it should start to look like this. Let me show you this again so you can get an idea of what it's looking like. Yeah. So now we just got to do our pull-out drawer and our drawer holder. So just 2 more pieces. And you need a piece that is 10.5 inches by 10 inches. On the 10-inch side, you're going to score at 2, at 4, at 6, and at 8. You're going to turn it to the 10.5 inch side, and you're going to score at 2 and at 8.5. Okay? we're going to go ahead and fold and crease all of these score lines. And we're going to do some cutting. Okay. Now, this piece here is going to be, this piece here and this piece here are going to be reinforcements just to make it stronger. So we are going to tab this guy, make a diagonal cut here, and then cut this square off completely. We're going to do that to this side as well. Diagonal cut and then straight cut on the score line to get rid of that square. And then you're going to flip it around and do the same thing to this side. So you're going to do a slight diagonal cut here and then cut off the square. Slight diagonal cut here and cut off the square. And then we're going to make tabs out of this middle square here and this middle square here. So turn it to one side, do a diagonal cut up, and then a straight cut on that score line. Diagonal cut up, and then straight cut on the score line. Flip it around and do the same thing to this side. Diagonal cut that middle square and then straight cut on that score line. Diagonal cut up there and then straight on the score line. Okay, because these two flaps are our reinforcements, we are going to add glue here. Fold that over and just press that down to get it nice and stuck. And then do the same thing to this side. So we're going to add our glue here. Fold it over. And press it down. Now these tabs, I like to hide them. So we're going to do this section first. We're going to fold. If you have it down like this, you're going to grab this tab and flip it up like so. You're going to add glue here. And then tuck your tab in right there. And then you're going to bring this side up and glue it right there so the tab's in the middle of, sandwiched in the middle of these two squares. Because if you put that tab on the inside of your drawer, then it can hinder you pulling your drawer in and out. So once again, we're going to fold this one down. We're going to add some glue here. We're going to fold our tab up and press those together. Add some more glue here. And then fold this square up. And this is your little, you can see my papers are two different color white. It's because I don't have any 12 by 12 110-pound cardstock, so I'm just using 65-pound cardstock for my drawer. Unfortunately, I wish I had some 12 by 12, but I don't. So here we are. So that's what you should have. And it's gonna go right there on the bottom like so. And now we're gonna make the little pull-out drawer. And we'll be done. So once again, you need a piece that is 10.5 inches by 10 inches. Now, there may be an easier way to do this, but my brain's not working today to do this. So this is how we're going to do it. Okay, so you have your piece of 10 by 10.5, which is the same as this one was. And on the 10-inch side, we're going to score at 2. Oh, my paper just tore. Oh my gosh. 2, 4. That's okay. That's going to be cut off anyways, I think. So 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, and 8 inches. And again, that's on your 10-inch side. You're going to rotate it to the 10.5-inch side, and you're going to score at 2 and at 8.5. Like I said, I know there's another way to do this, but my brain's not working in that way today. So we're going to do it like this because it works this way too. So you have your second piece of 10.5 by 10. And what we're going to do is, and this is probably the harder way, but we're just going to cut 1/8 of an inch off of all 4 sides. I don't know why I can't think of how to do this drawer smaller, but yeah, this is where I'm at. And it will work, so you know, just go with it. Okay, so there we go. I cut just 1/8 of an inch off of all 4 sides. And now we're going to do our folding and varnishing. Okay. So, this is going to be our reinforcement. So, I'm going to do a slight diagonal cut up there and then straight on the score line. Again, diagonal there and straight on the score line to cut that square away. Flip it around and do the same thing over here. Diagonal and straight. Diagonal just up to that first score line. And then cut on that score line like so. And then once again, we're going to make these 2 tabs. As soon as I'm done recording this video, I'll remember how to do the pull-out drawer without making you cut off 1/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. You just watch. I'll remember just as soon as I'm done recording. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just don't worry about it. We're good. It's all good. Okay, so this is going to be reinforcement, so let's glue it down. And this is reinforcement, so glue this one down. And because I like to hide my tabs, we're going to pull this up and over. We can add glue here to the tab. Fold it up like so. Add more glue here to the top of the tab and then flip this up. So you're essentially building the same thing that we just made here. It's just slightly smaller. So I'm adding glue to the back of my tab, folding this in, folding that up, adding more glue to the top of that tab, and voila. We've got the drawer that will now fit in that first piece we made, like so. Okay, so to add your little pull handle, you'll want to mat with your designer paper first, and then you're just going to line this up in the middle, wherever you want it in the middle. You're going to take a pokey tool and poke your little holes. Make sure you don't stab yourself. I'm going to get 2 brads that probably don't match because I'm out of the gold ones. So I'll just have to use these here. So that's okay for demonstration purposes. And then you just take your little brad and fit it through one side. Open your brad. And then put your second brad through the other side. Open that up. And then what I like to do from here is take some double-sided tape and cover the backs of the brads just so that they have a little more stability. Okay, and then I will peel that off, and to make this more sturdy, I took a piece of 110-pound cardstock and I cut it at 6 3/8 by 1 3/8, or wait, 1 7/8. And what I'm going to do is glue it here to the inside front of my drawer so that it gives it not only covers these brads. Ooh, excuse me, I got a hiccup. It not only covers those brads, but also gives that front where people will be pulling it open. It gives it a lot more stability, right? Like I said, don't add this until you've added your designer pattern paper. I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. And there we have it. That tucks in like that. And then to assemble it, guys, it's super duper easy, okay? I'm not going to assemble this because I haven't matted it with pretty designer paper. But you take your bottom drawer and then you glue on one of your perch pieces. Okay? It will fit exactly on top of your drawer piece. And then you're going to glue your shadow box to this bottom perch, and then you're going to glue the top perch piece to the top of it. And then, like I said before, make sure you mat the back and the insides here before you glue your shelf in. Okay, and you can glue it on all 3 sides so it's nice and sturdy inside there. Okay, so that is how you assemble it. I know I'm not assembling it myself here in this video, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and I'm always available for questions. You can always leave them in the comments down below here on this video, or even email or DM me on Instagram if you need any further help. I'll be happy to help. Just like I said, just send me a DM, okay? Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's super cute little project. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you tag me if you make this and post it on Instagram. Make sure you tag me so I can see your lovely creations of my original design. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.